So we'll just open the floor for discussion, but the time is very short because already it is 7:40. So anyone from the participant want to ask question to the panelists, may please raise your hand so that we can move you to, I think, one Mr. Sachidanandan. You can raise your hands, please, so that we can move you to a panelist. I think Dr. Soma Ilangovan from USA. He is the founder of Periyar International and a very staunch Dravidian ideologue. Would like to ask a question. Sir, please go ahead. Your video is switched off. Could you please switch it on? Dr. Soma Ilangovan?
Yeah, I cannot get the video on. I will
No
try.
problem.
But that's okay. Anevarukkum vanakkam. It's really very, very glad to see the glorious dedication of this hour to one of the Dravidian icons, Kalaignar, who is in our heart. We respected and paid our tribute to Kalaignar with the Social Justice, Veeramani Social Justice Award, given by the father of secular humanism, Professor Paul Kurtz, who came from here to Periyar Thadal and honored him with a fantastic speech. Kalaignar was a self-made, self-educated man, imbibed the hard work and the kolgai from Periyar, the forgiveness from Arinyar Anna, and the heart from Kamarajar. It is indeed pleasure for our people who are thankful to pay this tribute and follow in his footsteps and help our Chief Minister Muthuvel Karunanidhi Stalin Avargal and improve and see the golden days of Tamil under the leadership of capable people like Honorable Minister Palanivel Thiaga and so many others. We will all help in our own way to carry the ideals. That is where we lack. The problem we are facing now is enormous, and we need Kalaignar, Periyar, and Anna again and again to counter this, and let us all work together. In that angle, what can we do to counter the atrocities going on in the Indian stage now? I will request Panneerselvan to address that as a journalist. Thank you.
Sir, Panneer has, I think, left because his school reunion is today. So if anybody else can, Professor Kannabiran or?
Yeah, Professor Dilip Mandal has already talked about this. So I know Dr. Soma Ilangovan personally. So yeah, so the only thing, as you also told Pugar, we do so many things, but we talk very, very less. So that is the தமிழர்களுக்கே உண்டான what to say, modesty or something like that. We talk very less. We have done more. So now it's a time to propagate like the other wings who are even propagating without even doing with Photoshops and all the stuff. We have data. So if you like, for example, like if you take the picture of Tanjavur big temple in the 1950s and 60s, it used to be like a dark black color shade and all this stuff. Can you see now? Dravidian movement contributed to it. That's from the religious or like devotional angle. So I talked about cochlear implants. So all these things probably it should be showcased in a nutshell and taken in a very, very what to say captivating form to the people, so that not only the generation which came from the Justice Party, starting from the communal GO 613, which was the first reservation provided for underserved communities. So right from there until this stage, even where Kalaignar even gave 3% inner reservation for Arundhaviyargal, and even from persons speaking in Tamil medium, they can even from government colleges and all this stuff, government schools. So we got to kind of package it very, very captivatingly for the next generation and take it over, because like most of the people in the next generation assume these things automatically are handed over on their plate. But it's not like that. They took so many struggles. Martin Luther King, if you visit a family of any Afro-American home, the parents and the teachers, they make it a conscious effort to pass on what Dr. Martin Luther King did. It's a conscious effort. So every home in Tamil Nadu, should make this effort. Probably the DMK, like your, or the DK or the Dravidian Professional Forum, DPF, can come together and package in such a nice way so that these things can be carried over and told very friendly, very pleasingly by a cartoons or whatever. You define the format and medium, but take it over to the next generation and let them know that these things didn't come out of a magic hand like a Harry Potter or like any mantra or anything. This was after so many years of struggle that we got this. So they have to know that so that Dravidam can rule forever in the hearts of the people.
If you just to add to what you have said, for example, many even doesn't know what the contribution of Dr. Kalaignar and other Dravidian women leaders. In fact, Dr. Kalaignar has written more than 5 lakh pages in his lifetime, 500,000, and late Chief Minister Annadurai 300,000, and likewise Periyar, I think a little bit more than 300,000. So the whole of Dravidian movement is full of literature, which is not even there in any of the Hindi-based movements. And number two, when we, during my school days or college days, whenever we travel to other states, particularly, I come from a place called Nagarkoil, which is the border of Kerala. When we go to Kerala, people used to criticize us. You Tamilians are fully film-oriented. All your leaders come from the movie industry. So they ridicule in such a way. The answer we couldn't get at that point of time. But when we learned Dr. Kalaignar, he has used each and every medium, whether it is print media or cinema or is a stage, everything to propagate the social justice ideals. So when we talk about the Tamil film industry, from Dr. Kalaignar to even Bharat Raja or late Bhakya Raja and all, the message of social justice which has been given through media. If you take about Hindi movies, except for love, there is nothing in Hindi movies. There is no social justice or there is no hardcore themes in Hindi movies. Whereas in Tamil movies in 1980s or 1970s itself, it is full of social justice principles through which the Dravidian movement has been disseminated. So how they have interacted with the community, how they have engaged with the society is what makes Dravidian movement unique.
At this point, I also want to share a good news with your team. We are having an international conference on humanism and social justice in Toronto, September 24-25, after the birthdays of Anna and Periyar, 15th and 17th. So it's 1 week after that, 24 and 25, Saturday, Sunday. So we are trying to showcase the Dravidian model globally on a global stage. Officials and ministers from the government of Canada and other international, foreign, and diplomats, scholars, academicians, everybody arrived. So they compare various movements of the world. We are also having Dravidian movement to be compared and contrasted with. So it will be a very memorable occasion, and it will also be like a flaming torch, like how Hon'ble Chief Minister M.K. Stalin, he did for the Chennai Olympiad and took it Chennai and Tamil Nadu on the global stage. We'll also share his responsibility and do the same thing for Dravidam on the global stage. So to be a global Dravidian model. Thank you.
Thank you. So any more questions? One Mr. Sachidananda is waiting, I think. Mr. Sachidanandam?
Good evening, sir.
Yeah, good evening. Please go ahead.
Sir, I am a student of engineering, sir, from Bihar.
Yeah, please go ahead.
Yes. Sir, I have seen that, sir, in North India, sir, political parties and social organizations, sir, do not spend, sir, money and do not work on things, on the issue that he should send students to foreign for higher studies.
Yeah, please go ahead.
What's your question, sir?
Yeah.
Sir, should we send, sir, should organizations send students for foreign studies, for higher education?
No, sending Professor Kannabiran or Professor Arasu Chellaiah can answer this, but sending students to higher studies by political organizations may not be a practical thing. Rather, we have to improve our education system and ensure that students are able to study whatever they want within the particular district or within the particular state. That is what what we call it as equality of justice or equity, because otherwise political organizations are not in the business of sponsoring anybody to, which is not practically possible. So this is what has happened in Tamil Nadu. Tamil Nadu, if you see, not only the democratization of Hindu religion, but what has happened is the liberalization of education, democratization and liberalization of education by Dr. Kalaignar. Post 1990s, if you see, post 1990s liberalization, there were only 3,000 engineering seats in Tamil Nadu in 1990. So at that point of time, not many can do even study engineering studies. But whereas in 1996, when Dr. Kalaignar came to power, he increased the number of seats from 3,000 to somewhere close to 1.5 lakhs. Because at that point of time, there is one system called a mainframe. People who can study mainframe can go to US. For studying that particular course called mainframe, the cost involved is somewhere close to 1.5 lakhs. So only the upper caste elites are able to study mainframe and to get into the US for a job, nobody else. Whereas Dr. Karunanidhi liberalized all this. He opened up engineering colleges, he opened up courses so that anybody and everyone can study. And he saw the world as a market, not Tamil Nadu or India as a market. And because of which the migration of Tamils happened post 1996 from across the spectrum. People from every caste was able to move to US or other parts of the world because they were educated. Before that, it was a forte of one particular caste. If you see, even the Dr. Arasu Chellaiah may be the right person, because even in associations, Tamil associations, only the Brahmin caste will dominate at that point of time. This changed only after 2006 or 2008 because of this intervention by Dr. Kalaignar in liberalizing the education and enabling people to go abroad and seek jobs. So today, the diaspora itself is completely full of people at a different level of different strata of the society. So maybe Dr. Arasu Chellaiah can add a bit on this.
I think you said it so well. I would say even go beyond that, even earlier to 96, the computer revolution. For example, Kamarajar himself has mentioned a contribution is immense for basic education. And Dravidian movement, Anna, and then Kalaignar, like 60s, 70s itself, that just lots of boost. For example, even my family, my parents would say, there is no fate, there is nothing blocking you. You can just go. That's immense. That self-respect philosophy is really immense. So from 70s, like I said, the Vice Chancellor, everybody was because of the impacted by Dravidian movement. And so they all put their effect. They came back from outside the different countries and created some structures. So we were able to, for example, first-time graduates, our family, can go outside. There's nothing wrong with that in my view. And now we can see even a backward movement back from United States to Tamil Nadu. At least I can talk about Tamil Nadu. And as people retire, they can see, they can guide, they can help create some institutions in Tamil Nadu. So I can just talk about Tamil Nadu. So there is nothing fancy about coming to United States. Every village in Tamil Nadu, there are people, students who come to United States for studies or work, and then they go back or stay. So it is no longer a big deal, but it started, in my view, even people who came in 60s, in my view, were impacted by the Dravidian movement. And so as far as the forward backward caste, like you know, a Tamil's name, usually we don't have our caste as a surname, like other states of Tamil Nadu. So it's just a big mix from backward communities. I would say the scheduled caste may not have been represented well, but now that's also has changed. So we can do a lot better. And people from United States, Germany, France, scientists at least, they go back and create a structure because they want to go back home, like Mr. The minister, and I think Puhar also. So it's a good mix. It is really progressing well. As educationalists, we need to know exactly what's happening and help out people who are coming here. Guiding is, I missed that telling there, give proper guidance. Of course, we have the confidence to try to apply, to go anywhere. Hey, you can do things. There's no fate is blocking you. But I think even including me, proper guidance probably would have helped me a lot. And we can think about it, how to create that, because we have, from India, we have backward communities, scheduled caste all over the world. So we can just go back and assemble and create some structures and guidance for students, even to career changing, because things are changing very fast, as Professor Kannabiran, you, everybody know.
I will add one more
then
point
you-
to
Please,
Dr.
just
Chellaiah, I'll add one more
please.
point. This is PTR's vision, Honorable
Oh.
Minister PTR's vision. As he said about guidance, नमस्ते जी, आपका नाम क्या है? मैं थोड़ा add कर सकता हूँ to what Pugar and Dr. Chellaiah said. Okay, PTR minister इधर है ना? So he is trying to do a program called guidance towards like measurement of education and forward guidance to take them forward on the careers. So not only studying BE or MBBS or whatever, either engineering or medicine or like any specialized course. So to orient towards that course, right in your higher secondary school, from school to college. So which course that you can select, which will give you an opportunity. Say, for example, you want an overseas opportunity in the foreign land. So which course can guide you through that? So those kind of counseling and bringing the outside world to your state and showcasing what it is. So Honorable Minister PTR mooted that idea, and the government is also working on that. So these kind of measures will open the doors of education to you, to all our backward community people, and they will be given all information at their doorstep in their schools. So they can plan right from there, like how the elite class and the other, I don't want to name Brahmin or anybody, but like any other elite class, how that they're being slowly fed, and like how the NEET examinations and all the stuff that's happening only to take away the education from the hands of the common class to the privileged class. So in the reverse direction, taking the education, we are not pulling it from the privileged class. We are also giving it to them. We are not denying them education, but we are democratizing education and taking it to the doorsteps of the underprivileged communities. So these kind of measures, what the government takes, the Tamil Nadu government, the reservations, not only the reservations, to measure the reservation, how far it has been implemented, what are the benefits people have achieved out of it, Samuganidi Kanganipu Kulu, and there are so many other schemes like PTR, how he's trying to model and give a guidance center for you at the school level itself, so that you can orient towards your foreign studies. So come to Tamil Nadu, bhai. Aapka swagat hai. Your education will be very, very bright and promising. Namaste.
Just one quick comment. I think this is really a very important point. In the United States, people study a degree, and then after 10 years, they change the career path and go to different studies. I'm so encouraged by Puhar's analysis and thinking. Hopefully, December, January, I'll be there. I'll talk with him a lot and probably meet with some appropriate people. So one concept in the United States is the community colleges. And this is incredible. And this is kind of a parallel education, just 2-year associate degree. And I'm sure this model has been tried in Tamil Nadu. So we need to just explore how people who want to change their career path, what kind of a training they can have. I'm encouraged to watch the 3 hours and 14 minutes Samas interview of the minister. And he has like 4 degrees, different topics. I have 3 degrees. But again, things get outdated. And he was telling me in that interview, he really underlines the human resource management, the human resources. So how to inculcate these ideals to the people, give them confidence, give the self-image. Hey, you can continue to learn, even if you're like 85 years old, doesn't matter. You can learn, you can, and Asriyar Veeramani is 90, and he's as busy as a 25-year-old person. So this kind of things I think we can do. We can probably, like Kannabiran said, identify some areas. Everything may or may not work, but I think it's worth spending some time and moving in that direction, especially with through MK Stalin in government. I'm sure he's really opening up lots of avenues, which is very, very encouraging. Actually, many of my friends, different states of India who are in the United States, come to me, you know what, we listened to your minister, Mr. Thiaga, because his speeches are in English. They're so happy, you know what, he's incredibly smart. He's in the United States, he come here. So he's a good model. Pugar is a good model for people who are in the United States, academics, to go back and do something meaningful. Whenever we are there, we are citizens of this country, so we are going to live and die here. But whenever we come there, we can make some meaningful contribution, encourage students. Visit. I'm from a government high school, Arasu, and we can go there and encourage the students. Hey, you can be fluent in English and Tamil, and you can learn anything, and you can pick up the things which are appropriate for your unique set of skills, the personality types, and these kinds of things are really possible. I'm so encouraged by this panel discussion, and sincere thanks to Professor Kannabiran for getting me involved in this. Thank you.
Thank you. So if there are no more questions, we can wind up because it's almost a little bit more than 2 hours. Huh?
8 o'clock in Chennai.
Yeah, it's 8 o'clock.
Time
So
for
it's
dinner.
time for dinner. Yeah, and I think it's a breakfast for Dr. Arasu Chellaiah.
Yes.
So I think we can close it. So I would like to thank all the panelists, particularly Professor Arasu Chellaiah, for joining us from the United States of America. I think it's too early for him to wake up and speak in this panel. Thank you, sir. And Professor Ravi Kannabiran from University of Paris. He is actually comfortable for just 4 hours behind. But however, I would like to thank you and look forward to see you in Chennai. And Professor Dilip Mandal, through S Panneerselvan, who is our regular speaker. So as he's part of our DPF, and also to our Honorable Minister PTR Palanivel Thiaga Rajan for joining us. With this, we will close the session and we will look forward to have more and more sessions like this to disseminate the Dravidian ideology across. Thank you. Thank you so much.
Thank you, guys.
Thank you very much. Appreciate it.